we're going to go, hopefully you guys can hear me all right. I just saw a little bit of a glitch or a hiccup in my audio. Um, if not, I'll just start over. So Kevin Townsend here with Bamboo Solutions. We're going to start our webinar here just momentarily. Going to give everybody a couple of minutes here to trickle in, and then we'll get started. Today, we're going to go through our product Planner Plus so that we can take a look at how we can Kanbanize, kind of create some new words there, how we can Kanbanize our list data in SharePoint, specifically SharePoint Online, but it also works in SharePoint On-Prem too. So we'll talk about all that in just a moment. Give me about a minute and a half, and then we'll get started. All right, thanks for your patience there. Looks like we got a good crowd, so let's go ahead and get this thing started. We're using GoToWebinar today, so if you're not familiar, or you are, there's chat capability and question capabilities here in the tool, so please feel free to ask questions as we go, and I'll try to answer those as we move through this. This is going to be a really quick webinar. Planner Plus, it's got some simple functionality to it, and it's easy to talk through, so it won't be very long. I'm thinking maybe 20 minutes max. So we'll get started here. We are Bamboo Solutions. If you don't know who we are, we've been around in the SharePoint space for quite some time. We have something close to 50 products currently in our disposal here that we've produced. We've got about 8,000 customers served worldwide. We are a products and services company, so we do sort of run the gamut there of anything SharePoint. So we've got administrators and developers and you name it, we've got the role here for it. And so we've found great synergy there between providing products and services. We are a gold partner, so we have that certification, and we continue to work with Microsoft on trying to get our products in line with the latest and greatest that Microsoft sort of prescribes. Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to show our webpage here real quick. If you're familiar with us, we've got a website at bamboosolutions.com. You can find us there. We've got access to all of our applications, our web parts, and our cloud parts that work in SharePoint Online specifically, as well as our services offerings and things like that. So lots of good information there, and plenty of documentation that can be accessed from there as well if you're looking for more of a deep dive into the product and how it works or configures, etc. So please do feel free to check that out. Let me switch back over here. So let's go ahead and look at the agenda. Really quick bulleted agenda here. Just going to talk about what Planner Plus is, go through that live demo of it, and then discuss some pricing and how you could get a trial of the product as well. So Planner Plus is really a way for us to organize the team's work, as it says, in a visual and intuitive way. So we're all familiar with, sort of Kanban boards. Trello kind of brought that to the world, I feel like, at least in my experience for me. Trello introduced me to what Kanban was, right? And it was kind of this concept around having columns that you could move tasks between by clicking and dragging them to say, okay, now this is an in progress state or something like that, right? And so Kanbanizing our data just seems to make sense because we like that visual representation of status. One of the biggest benefit here to Planner Plus from Bamboo Solutions is that I can take pretty much any of your list data in SharePoint and put that into a visual representation of a Kanban board. So a few bullet or points here: visually organize complex projects and work plans and tasks. Talking about how we can stay on track with work plans and important tasks, just because now we can visualize those things in ways that may make more sense than just a long list of tabular data. We can increase that team collaboration and gain some insight on the effectiveness. So like I said, going to be a quick one. So we're going to run in now and go ahead and look at the demo of the product. So I'm going to go ahead and share screen 4 here. So you should see now the trial environment that we provide. This is the sandbox environment. We'll talk about how to access that and how to get access to it here at the end. But this is where we provide all of our products to the customers to allow you to try them out in a hosted environment, so you don't have to go through that installation process and get them in your environment. So here we have all of our cloud parts. Planner Plus is a cloud part, which pretty much means it's a JavaScript-based solution available in both the SharePoint framework format as well as just a standard JavaScript client-side format. So we've got multiple ways you can deploy these solutions. Currently, you can deploy through the app catalog, which requires it to be written in the SharePoint framework, right? And it can be deployed using our installer, which can be scoped to the site collection levels. So you could install this strictly at a single site collection level. Let's see, what else? Let's go ahead and get in there then. Let's go ahead and click on parent-child here. I'm going to go into the demo page that we've set up for this. Oh, sorry, I clicked the wrong one. I didn't mean parent-child, I meant Planner Plus. All right, so here we are looking at Planner Plus. I'm going to go ahead and jump this thing into full screen mode. So I've got this little option to toggle that full screen mode over here on the right. I'm going to click that just to kind of minimize the distraction and the clutter. So here we are looking at the plans that we currently have in Planner Plus. Planner Plus, like I said before, allows us to create new plans or connect existing lists within SharePoint and make a plan out of them. So I've got a few examples here, and you can see that they're described here in the list type as either a custom or task, or it's describing the type of list that this was. And so as you're probably familiar with, SharePoint has templated styles of lists. And custom is quite often used when you're just building things that are unique to your processes and your data. But in this case, we've also got a task list, right? And that kind of comes with those things like assign tos and start and end dates and things like that. So just kind of showing how we can pull some of that that SharePoint data in. So it also tells us when these plans were created. You can see the demos template location. This is where these live, so you can have an idea of where the plan is located. I'm within the context of that site collection, the demos/template. And then we have access to delete these or these plans, or to go and navigate into the plans. This is the quick navigation here to get to the portfolio, if you will, of your plans, the planner gallery. And then this plus sign here allows us to create new plans or create new plans from existing lists. And we'll kind of walk through each of those. And these are some examples of ones that we've already created. So if we go in and add a new plan, it's real simple. We're just going to give it a plan name, and I'll just say this is the plan for the holiday party, because we all love those. We can allow multiple task assignees. So this is a little bit of an impact moving forward. If you allow multiple assignees, then when we get to a grouping of our tasks that are in Planner, we can't group by assign to, because it just doesn't make sense with the varying amount of combinations of assign to that you may have generated because you allowed multiple assignees. That means you may have a particular item that's got an assign to Kevin and John, to Kevin and Rob, to John himself, right? So now I've got 4 columns there I'd have to present just to be able to move things between. That'll make a little bit more sense as we see that in action, but it does have a little bit of an impact if you say yes to allowing multiple assignees there. I'm going to go ahead and say no in this case, just so I can demonstrate that grouping. So I'm going to create the plan. It's going to go back and provision a SharePoint list that it needs to do that. Here we've got the holiday party now as a plan, as an option here. I'm going to open that up. So this list that was provisioned came with a few things, right? So we've got our status, and that's what we're driving these buckets, we call them here. The status is a choice field in SharePoint. So as you add new items here into this, let's see, I can add another bucket group just so you can have pretty much what it's doing behind the scenes is provisioning a new choice field, right? And so these bucket groups say, I want to also be able to organize my tasks like this. And I want to be able to say that my tasks could also be categories, right? And that could be a way that we want to organize them. So I'll say custom, and a couple of the bucket names, I might say something like, these are related to human resources. And I know this doesn't really play along with the holiday party theme here, but just kind of demonstrating the capability here. So the human resources, maybe this is an information technology related thing. Maybe this is a operations, right? I'm going to save that back. And one of the things I can do now is use those as my bucket here within my plan. So let's see here. Now, if I want to, I can add a new task. So if I go to add a new task, we get our standard SharePoint edit form, which is good because you get full control over that list, those list settings in the back end. So as you add new fields, you add new fields and properties to your form, and those will automatically be populated here because it is just leveraging the standard SharePoint form. So we can add new items. We'll just say this is our test task 1. And we're going to need some input on that thing. We can give it a start and end date. I'm just going to fill some of this data in real quick so we can visualize a populated one. I'm going to assign that to Kevin, myself. Oops, just clicked. We got our progress, and we have our categories here, and I can specify human resources. So there we go, right? So now we have a task added to our Kanban. We've got a little bit of data around that task. I can see who it was assigned to, the title, the description, and the due date is populated there. But I can also move this between these buckets, right, like this. And so now I can say that this is related to infotech instead, which may or may not be the way you want to move things between here, but this is an example. We also have list view. So if I click list view across the top here, we can view that standard SharePoint list data here and massage it in the way that you're familiar with, just quick access. I can go into list settings here, and I could add some new fields because I know I want to collect a couple of extra things around this particular plan type. And then, yeah, you've got all the access to do the things that you're already familiar with. So modifying SharePoint workflows or tying Microsoft Flow to the list and having actions occur that you like to write a workflow around, right? Those kinds of things can all be done standard SharePoint list data. Now we have the group by here, and the group by is what I was referring to earlier. So I can say that I'd like to group these, I'd like to view the presentation of my tasks in these ways, either grouped by assigned to or grouped by categories or progress. So if I go to progress, you'll notice it's that that format that we saw this list created in. This is the buckets that it was originally in. And so I can move these things between these steps as well. It looks like I should have authenticated there. Let me refresh real quick. I got a little bit of an authentication error here. And please do feel free to ask questions as you're seeing this in the GoToWebinar. So we'll go back here. We're reviewing that. I'm having some sort of a session problem here. Sorry about that. So yeah, we've got them in the categories. We can drag them between those. We can change the grouping. So you see how we created that bucket earlier by me clicking Add Bucket Group. Now it's an option to group these by and to move those tasks between those various buckets. And you'll notice that I moved that into information technology, but through the the progress view. If I move this to in progress, now when I view the properties of this item, you'll notice that it changed both of those fields just by me interacting with it through that Kanban view, right? So now category has been changed to information technology, and it's been moved into the in progress column, which updated the metadata around that item. So just a really simple, easy way to interact with your tasks and potentially provide some project management capabilities around the tool the data that you're working with. We have a couple options up here. I kind of touched on the go full screen there, but we also have the ability to copy a plan link. So you can see it was copied to my clipboard. Now I can send that out in email and send users and customers directly to the particular plan. I got a question here. Can you use an existing list in Planner? So let's do that now. So that was a new list. That was an example of me clicking on new plan here. But if we go to new plan from existing list, it will populate pretty much all the lists in that site collection that we currently have this running within the context of. So yes, we can. I've actually added a plan previously to my service desk list, which is not an option any longer because I already have a plan based on that list. So that's good. But let's say we want to add a plan around, I think I have some chart plus data here. Now let's do contracts. Oh, there's only one item in there. Let's do company finances. So I clicked on that list, company finances. Now we get presented with how do we want to map the existing data in that list to what we need to make Planner work. Now we can either tell it to just go ahead and provision new columns for these things, the task assignee, the start date, the due date, and the task progress. But you can see here it already identified that there was a column that could work for task progress. And so if I click existing column, I have an option now to use that progress column. And here's the options that I have. Right now I have a field in that list called month, and apparently that will suffice. But let's say I don't. I'm actually going to choose a different list here, just one that has maybe some better matching. Yep. So this is the what list did I just click on? IT project list. And so now I have existing column for all of these because it recognized that I do have a start date, a due date, and I already have a people field in that list, so I can actually just use the people picker field for the task assignee. And then I also have a task progress type of list, which is really just looking for a choice column in the list to be able to organize those by. So I have a couple in there in this particular list, one priority, one status. For existing column for task assignee, I'll map that over to the assign to field. For start date, I'll go ahead and map that to the start date field. I luckily had one because this is a task list that I'm connecting. Due date, we'll go ahead and use the due date field. And then for task progress, existing column, we'll use the, let's do status field. So for task progress, we're going to map that against status. Let's save that back. Now we've got our IT project plan. So we'll open that up. You can see I have a couple of tasks in that list already, and they're populated visually by the data that was already in them. So this milestone 2 was in a not started state already, so we've gone ahead and presented that. And then this one was in progress. And then I can go ahead and move those around, right? So I can move this to complete, and we'll go ahead and look at metadata here. And the metadata is now going to reflect that change I made just by dragging and dropping. So hopefully that answers your question around adding existing list data. Another thing I wanted to show you guys, that's pretty much all I have to show for Planner Plus. It is very simple. It's just a way to connect list data that you may already have or create new plans and be able to move tasks between Kanban boards and configure that plan, that Kanban, if you will, in a few ways. So one of the things I wanted to show real quick was we've included Planner Plus now in our project management solution. Bear with me here. I don't know why this is happening to me today, of course, during the demo. Let's do that one more time. Yeah, I'm not going to do that again. All right, so we have Project Management Central, which is also one of our cloud products. Within PMC Cloud, we've added, one more time, and then I'm going to skip this. We've added Planner Plus into the project management tool so that as you're viewing a project, let's just say, for instance, the customer website redesign project, I can now view these things in Planner View. So this is our PMC tool, manage our projects. We've included one of our other products, Planner Plus here, so that we can view all of our tasks here within the bucket views. And move those tasks between status like that as well. So just a neat implementation of one of our products, right, to be able to show how that use case might actually apply. So is there formatting of the tiles, for example, color of that blue bar on the left based on field on the list? There's currently not any, but we do have Something I'll get into here is how we work on development in our products. And one of the ways that we do that is through customer feedback. So questions like you just asked could drive our development backlog for this product. And we've been known to get those features out if we feel that they're a good fit for the market. As a whole, we can get those out and into production in as little as 4 to 5 weeks. So adding that capability is not unheard of or impossible, right? That's all I'm saying. But at the moment, no, there is no configuration for the coloring of them. Yep. So that's pretty much it for the product and what I have to show around that. I'll say that we just went through the live demo there. So now for pricing on the product is in Office 365, we price that per online domain. Most people only have a single domain. And if that's the case, then you would just pay the $25.58 there for that domain. You can use it anywhere you want in your tenant. It's not limited to per user licensing or per added to page kind of licensing. It is for the whole domain. So use it as much as you like in there. That includes the first year of support and maintenance. If you're looking for on-prem implementation, because these cloud parts can be used on-prem since they're JavaScript-based solutions, those are priced per environment. So you would just pay that $25.58 per production farm, per test farm, etc. And that also includes first year support and maintenance. Any education and nonprofit, we can give you discounts on those. And then if it's a non-production environment, then that's 50% of the price. So that's a little bit about pricing there. We do have trial environments. So I just showed you the sandbox where we will send customers to be able to test our products out without you having to install them in your environment. So you can do that. If you go to our website, the top right corner of every page has the Contact Us link, and there's an option on that contact page to do that. It'll automatically provision your sandbox and send you credentials within 30 seconds or so. So you can do that right now and immediately. If you are interested in testing these in your environment because you have existing list data you want to see those in, then you can contact us to get a trial, the files you need to deploy the solution and trial that out. Those are good for 30 days, and yeah, you can test those out that way. Our products are ever evolving, so we continue to develop against all of these cloud part products, which is sort of the direction and the future of SharePoint solutions. We've got so many years of maturity against developing against full farm trust solutions for the on-premises people that we're using those as our roadmap as we move forward to deliver the same features and functionality. Now, Planner Plus is a new product overall. There were no Planner Plus products in the on-prem world back in the day. So we've got brand new experiences here. You can see that, we had a couple of questions about features that could be added to the product. And so we do drive our development backlog from customer feedback. We prefer to do that because it's the market telling us how to build these products and what they'd like to see in them. We do deliver every month practically, 12 release cycles a year. And then we have new updates happening, like I said, all the time. So another question, does the due date on a card turn red when overdue? No, it does not currently, but that due date is displayed on the card at the moment. So a lot of that design and color, I guess, coding of cards is coming. It's something that we've got in our backlog. It's not there yet. And so any of the feedback that you have about, ways that you would like to see that happen, we'd love to hear about and see if we can implement. Finishing up here, we do go live on Twitch. I do every day, every Wednesday actually, from noon to noon 30-ish, go through some news, set up the webinars together, kind of talk through the product in sort of a preliminary state. And then every Friday, if you're not familiar with our newsletter, we put out a SharePoint newsletter. It goes out every Friday at 8 a.m. So I go over that live on stream with whoever wants to join so you can interact at noon. That usually ends around noon 30 as well. Yeah, we're live on the internet. We'd love to have you guys with us and come hang out. So that's all I have for today. Like I said, it is a quick webinar. It's a very simple product to help visualize task data, right? And not just tasks, but any data in your existing lists that you may want to visualize in a Kanban format. So I'll leave it open for a few more minutes just for additional questions, but yeah, standing by. Yeah, for the replay of the slides, if you missed it, I think it's an hour after this ends, an email will go out with a link to the recording so that you can watch this again.